Okay, let me get it started over here. I think it's being live streamed now. I just think I must have forgot to hunt. So let's just see what's happening now. Because I bet you, because it says recording in progress. So yay. Let me turn sounds down. Let me turn phones down. Okay, oh, I totally disappeared, didn't I? Okay, so I know Bonnie's going to be here in just 1 second. Usually Debbie. Leslie, I know you're here on Facebook, but you can come into Zoom if you want to, because it's going to be kind of quiet right now, I bet you. So I would love for you to come over there and we can hear your voice instead of having to have you chat. And Chiquia too. Hi, Chiquia. How are you, honey? Let's see if we can get some folks in over on the Zoom call with me. So I'm not talking to myself, but I can do that. I can talk pretty good anytime I need to. Who needs the link? Are y'all good? Anybody? Bonnie was changing where her computer is so she could come. Anyway, I'd love to hear from you guys. Y'all been keeping up with the assignments every day, and have you been noticing any changes within what's going on with you? And we got that cute little coloring book. Wasn't that fun? I think it was a pretty awesome little thing to deal with. So, yep, I'm still here. In my kitchen, which is a really pretty kitchen. I'm ready for it to really be my actual kitchen. So today was about the terror barrier. Let Bonnie in. Okie dokie, Bonnie. Hello.
Hello.
You're back.
It's been so long since we hung out.
I know.
My Sonic the Hedgehog here is still living up to its name.
This is good. This is good. So we're live streaming onto YouTube also.
Okay.
To my beloved Essence page also. Leslie is here on Facebook where we're streaming in.
Hi, Leslie.
And I think Chiquia is too.
Hey, Chiquia.
Trying to get them to come here on Zoom so I can get some feedback and some discussion from them. But I don't know that they're going to.
Yeah, they might not be at a place where being on even with audio.
That's true too.
Yeah, yeah, you kind of have to be in a fairly quiet place, you know.
Yes, and it's 5:30 or later on a Friday, so everybody's doing all kind of stuff. So today, Sandy talked about the terror barrier, which was pretty cool to follow up with everything we've covered. We started with visioneering because we are that, and imagining and holding that energy, that impression on the screen of our mind, and developing a bulletproof attitude so that nothing would jar us off of that, keep us straight with that. And then about our self-image, you know, we've shared different tools and different ways to keep your self-image in the true space of where you really are, because you are connected to the divine. You are God's highest form of creation. Everything is available to you. It's just that we have been lovingly raised by other opinions that has taken a stronger root. Let's say it's kind of like a big old oak tree, with deep strong roots and huge limbs, instead of a freshly new planted oak tree. So which is what we're working on when we do our visioneering and when we check our attitude. And attitude is one of the key. All of these are so important, Bonnie, but attitude is one of the keys that will set or make your day for you. You know, if you're in a funk and your attitude is not exactly humming along, everything you touch is not going to be humming along. But if you can do something to change your attitude, little thing, I like to listen to music, move the body, go outside for a walk, even, I don't know, laugh at yourself that you let yourself go nuts over something that really wasn't necessary. Why would you worry and let fear and anything show up and throw you off of the wonderfulness that's there for you? Just keep facing that and walking toward that. So we also talked about, then he talked about goals on the next day and the difference between all the different types of goals. And the goal that we really want is not one that we know how to get and not one that we've gotten before. It's one that we have no idea. I mean, it is so far out there. You can talk, Bonnie. You don't have to be on mute, and you look really cute, actually.
Oh, thank you. Well, I myself have a few background noises, trash trucks with dogs barking. That's
Okay.
why I'm muting, out of respect for the lovely things that you are saying. But I am taking it all in. I appreciate this recap.
Oh, good. Okay, so we want a C-type goal, which is a goal that is way out there, way out there. But now remember, we said there is a place. There is a place, and there is the place you want to be. So you just hold the image on the screen of your mind, your imagination, you visualize, you feel that you're there. You hold your attention and your attitude of being there. And you keep your self-confidence strong by always acting and doing things from the there place. Now that's pretty cool. And then say that 15 times fast. The there place. That doesn't work. It'll really get you. But it's fun. It's so much fun and so much lighter on your heart when you let yourself explore in the there place. And when you're in the there place, if it's not exactly lined out how you want it to be, fix it. I mean, you can walk all you want to through that imagination and adjust, change a room here, or change a car, or a color, or a person, or a business. Everything is doable. There is no limitations as long as you feel that excitement, that driving desire for it, and you can put on your bulletproof armor with your attitude and with your self-confidence, that if something throws you off, you easily know how to reframe. And the thing about going there is you make a decision. You make decisions all day long, every day. So once you are really good and understand about decisions, it doesn't have to be a bad word. A lot of us go like we used to sometimes on goals. I don't like that word. Decision, I don't like that word. Discipline, I don't like that word. But once you really understand the dynamics of it, then you start telling yourself, I like making decisions because it makes everything orderly for me. I know what I'm going to do, how I'm going to do it next, because I've gotten guidance as to how. I didn't ask for the how to start with. Once I made the decision, different hows showed up, different ones. So it's really pretty cool. And it's like, say your affirmations, have your affirmations, repetitive, which you're going to go, repetitive, really? But repetitive is what's going to get it in your subconscious, which is where you want it to be. Because what happens when it's in your subconscious? It's a new habit. And when it's habit, it's done automatically for you. You don't have to continue thinking about doing that because you are doing that. And then you look back and go, did I just do that? Because it's coming up to be a habit. So it's really, really cool. And then the thing that he talked about today was the terror barrier. Because as you get going and you're just ginning along and you're happy, and then all of a sudden, you have no idea what will trigger you. Something deep from the resources of something else, or a smell, or when you're driving, you drive past a place that has a memory, and then you get in that terror barrier and you go, what am I doing? I have lost my mind. My palms are sweating. There's no way I can do this. I don't know what I was thinking. It just is not working for me. I'm not doing it. And so you hit that terror barrier and you went back into your comfort zone.
I've just got a little story. Is this a good place to interject?
Absolutely.
I've just got a little story about exactly what you're talking about. This terror barrier. Like yesterday, I was having kind of like some pains around my stomach.
Oh,
And I'm like, well, what is this? Because I've been playing around with what foods I'm eating and things like that, what my body is liking or whatnot. And I had introduced a couple of foods back in that I had not been eating. And I'm like, well, maybe that's what it is, but I didn't know. I didn't know what it was, So what I did, and I know this is not along the lines of maybe what they've been talking about, but it does have to do with the unconscious. I got out my little pendulum. I got out my little pendulum and I said, because I didn't know, I couldn't figure it out, and I was starting to get confused. So I asked my pendulum, is this because I ate X, Y, and Z food? It said no. No, first I said, does my conscious not mind know why my stomach is feeling a little tight? And it said no. And I said, is it in my unconscious mind? And it said yes.
Yes. Yes.
And then I asked it about the foods, and it wasn't the foods. And I said, is this because of stress? And it said yes. But I couldn't get to it. I did not know.
I am so glad that you asked the double question. Is it my conscious mind or my subconscious mind? Because the conscious mind, when it came through, would have already bounced it back out. But the subconscious, because it's been very deep for a long time, it held on to it like it was actually the thing.
Yeah. And I still don't know what it was. But you know what I did is I fell back on some techniques that I know. That's why it's so important to learn them.
Yes.
And to do them consistently, as you say, like this repetitive. I did deep breathing. I said, then my evening practice, I'm going to do my deep breathing. I breathe and I breathe and I fill my body up and I breathe some more. And guess what? That tummy ache went away.
Isn't that something?
Yeah, because I was holding on to stress. I didn't know why. Something triggered it. And so I'm like, well, if it's my unconscious mind that's triggering me, then I need to speak to my unconscious mind through my breath to calm it. And luckily it did.
And stress is always a part of fear.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, what am I fearful of?
And I'm moving ahead on many projects in my life, exactly like what Bob and his friends are encouraging people to do. And I do run into these barriers. So I've just been really enjoying hearing them talk about it this week because it's important.
It is great. And one of the things that I so enjoy about Bob and Sandy and Arash and the whole team sharing stuff is because it brings us back to our forefront of our mind all the time, because we go through our week in, week out, week in, week out, and we're not always thinking about our goals, thinking about what it is that we want to build for ourselves, and are definitely not taking 3 action steps toward it every day.
Right.
Because if you've forgotten about it, you're sure not moving forward. You're not moving toward it. And if you're not going towards something, you are just basically, you're going away from it. So you're disintegrating.
Yeah.
So that's not where we need to be. That's absolutely not where we need to be. And they gave some great offers. They offered about coming in as a consultant,
Okay.
like what I do. You can come in as a consultant, but you really need some sort of coaching background, and you really need a lot of experience about things that are going on so you can help other people. But if it's in your heart to help other people, you can come in as a consultant. And the other thing they've offered, Arash mentioned it today, and it's a new program that he and Bob came up with. And it's about seven steps or 7 rules or 7 ways to develop the self. No, my mind is self-image. Your self-image.
Self-confidence.
Self-image.
Self-image. Okay.
Your self-image.
Like imagineering yourself.
There's 7 powerful ways, and it's another 12-week program that they're only selling through a PGI. But me as a consultant, I work with Thinking into Results, which is it's a 6-month program.
Okay.
And I have several other lower price things that I could get somebody interested in, that if they want to continue this, even though we go away at the end of this week, there's some way you need to stay connected.
Oh,
it's really important to stay connected. And so unless you have an elite coach or a mentor that can work with you regularly and keep you back on track, reach out to me, because we have to talk. There's several ways that things like that could work for you. And I want all my people that I love so much to achieve their goals. I want you all to be winners. There's no more reason to worry about how am I going to pay that bill, or what if that doesn't come through? We're going to really be in a pickle. What if happens over here with the economy does that? Well, we can build our own economy. So, and that's a hard stretch of a belief, but we help you get there. So talk to me, Bonnie. Talk to me. Tell me what's going on with you. You really enjoyed it, didn't you?
I did enjoy it. And I was unable to see today's broadcast. So I'm really happy that you've been recapping. I've enjoyed this week very much. And I think I've shared with you, Madalyn, that I've been following Bob Proctor and the thought leaders that Bob has hung around just because he's awesome. And early on, I started using the techniques that they're talking about, these timeless techniques, and it's gotten me pretty far. I've got my own business. I'm making more money than I've ever made. Actually, it's a family business, and that family business is making more money than it's ever made.
But you have a clear direction.
We have a clear direction on that. Yep, I've used these strategies that are being taught for about 15 years now. And I have built my life along the way using these, and people and circumstances, and the universe has definitely moved. I had to take a leap of faith, Madalyn. I had to take a leap of faith way back then, because I did not believe it. I was in some pickles.
Well, most of us don't believe it. I mean, it's too far-fetched to believe.
I didn't believe it. But you know what? The people who I was working with at the time, I did believe in them. I believed in the leadership.
That's right.
And so I borrowed, just like Bob was talking about, and his friends are talking about, I borrowed their faith. I borrowed their experience. I believed them when they said this works. So I just started doing stuff and I started changing my attitude. I started writing things down. I started writing my goals down. I've tweaked them 1,000 times.
Yeah,
Now, if I had met you back then, Madalyn,
mhm,
someone like you,
mhm.
who could help me every step of the way.
Right.
And I came to you before you were doing this stuff. I came to you. We've had a lot of coaching sessions. I can vouch
Mhm,
for you 100%.
mhm.
If I had a there was no online coaching when I started back then.
No, but you have the Lead the Field program,
Yep.
and that is dynamite. And we have a Lead the Field program that Bob enhanced. It's still the basic teachings, but from Bob's knowledge, he's added some of his training in on it too, and his insight. And it's a dynamic program. So
I can hardly wait to listen.
I know it's like, go get that. You need to get back into that Lead the Field program. It's just awesome. And it's not just skim it over. Each lesson, I think there's 12 lessons in it. Each one is a 2-week study.
Okay.
How we have it. You do one lesson for 2 weeks, and there's a whole workbook, and then Bob gives us a video. In 5 days, we work with what Bob said and do the workbook every day, listen to the audio. And then in 5 days, Sandy gives us one of her videos. And so they keep you're supposed to absorb that first lesson for 10 days, the next lesson for 10 days, the next lesson, and it just builds the momentum. And what you think you heard and what you answered the first go around is, by the time you get on down the line, still with that same lesson, you go, why did I even say that? That is so not what I want. That's so not what I feel. That's so not what I'm thinking.
It changes.
And one thing I thought was really interesting in these lessons, he talks about knowing you. What is your value? What is your worth? And when he broke it down and he told in the lesson, I don't remember how many billions, if you want to equate it to money, how many billions and billions of dollars you physically in your human form is worth, because everything is inside of you from spirit. You already know it. There's nothing outside of you that you need to worry about. Just reach in and get it. Interesting, he said, to think about you as a corporation. YOU. And then look at yourself as that corporation and see, how are you doing in the finance department? How are you doing in the production department? How are you doing in the sales department? All of these departments work up for a corporation, but all of those are you. So how are you leading and controlling you, which means your life?
Yes, I love that. I love that. I also love the idea that we are all the protagonists in our own adventure story. We are writing our own story right now. And the question is, when we ask ourselves, how do we want that story to be written? Because we're writing it.
That's right.
And if we're not writing it, somebody else will be writing it for us.
And we'll be living it tomorrow. What we've written in the past, we're living it tomorrow. So there's no sense in blaming someone for your bad circumstances, because you created them.
Well,
flip it.
Well, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Look ahead.
It's yes, we've created them, but you know what? It's almost like, if we are not thinking about what we want, making decisions, acting upon those decisions, what happens is those people who are clued in to making those decisions and getting what they want, they will be able to more easily mold our lives.
Yes.
That's really what it is. So it's not so much that we've created this big old mess. It's more like we've allowed other people to kind of manipulate our mess. Does that make sense?
Yes.
That's how I look at it.
Yes.
I do understand, and I do believe very strongly about us taking responsibility, personal responsibility for our lives. But until we know, like when we don't know, we can't do better, right?
It's right. And it's all in your, you have to know. And there's so many, I would say, like Bob said, there's 3% of people that really mold their world and their life how they want it.
Yeah.
Well, how many is that left around here just out there on the highway with everything buzzing around and grabbing this and grabbing that, and then they're trying to cross the street, but they don't know which. I mean, it's
Yeah, because they're kind of just playing into somebody else's dream.
yeah.
Right? And when we take that back, when we take back our personal power, when we take back our dreams and we wake up to that, I mean, I think that anybody listening to this right now, or anybody who has been attracted here to your broadcast, Madalyn, they're wanting something different. And I encourage every single person out there to reach out to you.
Thank you. But yes, you're right. It's if they would listen, their spirit is asking.
Yes.
Their heart is asking. And if they would make the decision within the first 3 seconds, then the paradigm doesn't come in and change it for you.
Yeah.
You have to start learning to follow that inner guidance.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Take some risks, man. Take some risks, but take risks in a reasonable direction.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've taken some risks that have really fallen flat on my face more than once, but this is a reasonable risk, especially if people really want some change and they want some direction and they want some lessons,
Well, and the other thing is, like Bob has said a million times, and all of my mentor coaches from PGI have said, don't let outside circumstances control your decisions. If you want to do it, make the decision to do it, and the money will show up. It may be way far out of your range, but when you make that committed, absolute decision, then you have told the universe, I'm ready. I'm wanted. And then you get out of the way and wait to see what ideas show up, or who shows up, or how something happens. And then all of a sudden, because you made that irrevocable, committed decision, you got the funds,
It's happened that way for me more times than I can tell you. I mean, it's weirdly true.
And it's scary. It's scary, but you have to not let yourself get into that scary part.
Yeah.
But yes. Yeah. So thank you all for being here with me. Thank you, Bonnie, particularly. I'm glad we had these 5 days we could share and explore and have fun together. There's still stuff up on our page we got that cute little coloring book.
That's adorable.
Isn't it cute? The document that they assigned to read today was the one about sense of urgency.
Yeah.
Really, really, really one that you want to dig into. And
right.
The whole thing, the interesting thing about all of this is I used to go from point A to point B, read a book from A to B. And I used to look at the back of the book first, the end of it, to see if it was worth my time to read it. Then if I was going to spend my time to read it, it was how quick can I get through the next chapter, the next page, that book's finished. Did I absorb any of it? Not a nickel of it. I thought I did. And I thought I was really educating myself on things that I needed to know. But the more I study this with Bob, the more I see how he could spend a month on one page.
Yeah.
You find something that lights you up and you're not aligning with it and you're trying to figure out what is that really about. If for you to start becoming it, you are a product of the product. You really get it. So now I'm like, I just sit and it's more enjoyable.
Yeah. When you relax into something like that and really absorb the wisdom.
Mm-hmm. And then you don't punish yourself because you want to read it again.
Yeah.
And again, Sandy said today that she and Bob were on one article about in the Spirit by the judge Troward for 6 months.
Wow.
They read it every day.
Wow.
really 6 months. So
That's really reading between the lines there.
there's really a very valid reason to do it, even though it doesn't make sense, but it's just a beautiful absorbing of the things you need to do to connect you to being the true you.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, people read religious texts over and over and over. They read scripture over and over and over and over and over to find that wisdom. And, you know, people are finding wisdom that applies to now. And, you know, I mean, not obviously it's different, but if you think about it, that precedence is out there to really dig deep into the literature and absorb the wisdom.
Yes. So I see we got some comments coming through. Let me see what I've got going on here if I can catch them.
Is it
Leslie?
I bet
Leslie. She said that she's proud of herself for moving through what she's still having to deal with her husband.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And extremely grateful and happy that some work in many areas have been working on for weeks. It's moving forward. I can't read all of it. I'm sorry, it blocks off. She's talking to you, Bonnie. It's wonderful that you hung onto that trust that it works for others so that you could try it and see that it works. I don't know where we were in the conversation on that. And she said she agrees with you. We let others manipulate our mess.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think Cheryl is in here somewhere, but I don't know what she's saying. So great. I'm glad everybody's here. This will be up on the Facebook and in YouTube and on my Beloved Essence page for a while. So will all the assignments. Okay. And keep posting in here. You know, let me know how you're doing, what's going on. I'm going to be checking back. I think they're going to do a couple of bonuses over the weekend.
Okay.
Which would be nice.
Well, I've got a question for you, Madalyn. Mm-hmm. If someone was interested in moving forward with any of these offers, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Well, I put my information here in our private group, but if you just go to my website, it's M Kennedy, Kennedy.
Okay.
And it's longer than that. And then it's PGI, which I work with PGI consultant. I am a PGI consultant. M Kennedy, PGI consultant.com.
Awesome.
And there's a place there where they can book a time for us to just chat and see if which one of the programs, if any of them, are which one you want to start with works for you. So thanks for asking, Bonnie.
Well, you're very welcome. PGI, I'm taking it, means Proctor
Gallagher
Institute. Okay. Mm-hmm. Very good. Well, congratulations on your successful coaching business, Madalyn.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. It's so easy to coach because I've done it for so long.
I know. But I have benefited from it.
But to come in as an actual consultant here to work with this team that I have, and Bob and Sandy and everybody has laid out all the training beautifully. Everything that you need to get yourself going is in that Thinking into Results program. Everything. It and what we've covered here over the weekend is just the icing on the cake. It just is so much more. So much more. And then it builds, it gets that momentum. And then you look back and you go, wow, I didn't realize that. Look at that. Look what I'm doing now. Look how I'm feeling about myself. Look what I'm constantly thinking, look what's going on around me. These little shifts happen and their dynamic changes.
Yep, they sure are. I can tell you I'm a different person than I was 15 years ago when I first stepped on the path of using these very, I don't know, skills.
Skills and tools. Yeah,
tools and
and the
skills.
thing about that, we are always learning, we're always growing, we're always the perpetual student, and we're always the teacher, because we are lighthouses. We are here to serve others,
Yeah,
and we show up that way. So we aren't always, in order to be a good in service to, you have to be able to receive and always upgrade your knowledge, upgrade your heart.
absolutely.
How can you best show up?
And it's very difficult to do that all by oneself.
Absolutely.
It is. It's like community and leadership and mentorship is everything.
I have not, and I'm using Arash's term. He said he's never seen anyone really make it by doing it on their own.
Yeah.
And a lot of the videos and the work that we do are not the videos you see out there on YouTube. It's not the training that you've done over and over.
Mhm.
This is different. This is really one-on-one working with you as you need it in the Thinking into Results program.
That's epic. Really, that's insider information. They're not going to give their best stuff away for free. Let's face it, we're in a world where we are creating our own economy, but the economy is money.
Well, and what you do get, what they are sharing and giving away for free, is enough to get you started.
Absolutely.
It's enough to get you going for a little while, but how long do you want to struggle?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, how long are you going to live? You don't know.
Right.
So, pick yourself up, dust yourself off, put on your boots, and make a decision, and let's get you going. I mean, it's super easy once you decide.
Yeah.
Thank
Nice.
you, honey.
Thank you. Always a pleasure and a joy.
So great. I so love you.
I love you too. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.